Just when it felt like Lando Norris was cruising towards the 2025 Formula One title, a tiny measurement changed everything. After the Las Vegas Grand Prix, hours after the champagne and the fireworks, both McLaren cars failed a technical check by a margin so small you could miss it with the naked eye. The result was brutal: disqualification for Norris and his teammate Oscar Piastri. Overnight, a 42-point cushion shrank to just 24. Suddenly, the title race is no longer a quiet march. It is alive again, and Max Verstappen and Piastri are now tied for second, both within reach of the leader. All of this because of a plank under the car that wore down a touch too much. Let's rewind to the race. Verstappen won, Norris started on pole and brought the car home in second with a smart, measured drive, and Piastri finished fourth. It looked like a solid day for McLaren, not flashy, but enough to keep the championship plans safe. But as teams packed their crates and the strip fell silent, the stewards sent out a notice. Car number 4, Norris, and the number 81 car, Piastri, were under investigation. The problem had nothing to do with engines, wings, or tyres. It was about the plank, a simple wooden block, also called the skid block, that sits under the car's floor. This plank has a big job. It forces teams to keep the car at a safe ride height. If the car runs too low, it can make too much downforce, spark dangerously, and become unstable, especially over bumps. To keep things fair and safe, Article 3.5.9 of the technical rules says the plank must be at least 9 millimeters thick when the race ends. The FIA measured the McLarens. The back part of the plank on both cars was below the minimum. The difference was tiny, thinner than a human hair. But in Formula One, there is no grey area with this rule. If your plank is too thin, you are out. The penalty is disqualification, no matter the reason. McLaren went to the stewards to explain. Team boss Andrea Stella said both cars suffered unexpected porpoising in the race, that nasty bouncing at high speed, which they did not see in the practice sessions. On a street track like Las Vegas with bumps and surface changes, that bouncing can be worse. McLaren also said the cars picked up accidental damage during the Grand Prix, which made the floor move more than planned and wore the plank faster. They added that practice had been a mess earlier in the weekend because of the loose drain cover that stopped running. With less time to tune the car, they may have ended up with the ride height too close to the limit. The stewards listened. They made it clear they did not think McLaren was cheating on purpose, but they also said the rules are strict and the same for everyone. The regulation is a simple pass or fail, and past cases show there is no room for sympathy, so the decision stood. Both cars were disqualified and Norris lost second place while Piastri lost fourth. 18 points gone for Norris, 12 gone for Piastri, 30 points erased from McLaren's weekend in one hit. The knock-on effect changed the standings completely. George Russell moved up to second in the final results, a huge gift for Mercedes as they fight Ferrari in the constructors' standings. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz were bumped to fourth and fifth, but the biggest winner was Max Verstappen. He already won the race on track, but with Norris losing his haul, the gap at the top shrank from 42 to just 24. Verstappen and Piastri now sit level on 366 points. Norris holds 390. Two events remain: the Qatar Grand Prix, which has a sprint race, and the Abu Dhabi finale. A total of 58 points are still available. That is more than enough to flip the order. What looked safe now looks shaky. Both McLaren drivers tried to keep their cool in public, but you could hear the hurt between the lines. Norris said it was painful to lose so many points, adding that the team always tries to push the limits for performance and that this time they judged it wrong. Piastri echoed that message. The field is tight, every detail matters, and they missed the mark. For a team that has been the pace setter for much of the year, it was a rare, very public mistake. This whole situation is another reminder of how tiny details define Formula One. It also shows how risky street circuits can be. When the surface is uneven and the curbs are harsh, a car that is set up perfectly in the garage can behave differently over a race distance. Porpoising returns, flaws scrape, parts flex. And if the plank wears a fraction too far, that is your day ruined. It is not even the first time this year. Earlier in 2025, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hülkenberg were also thrown out for the exact same rule breach. No team is immune. The fallout will shape the final 2 rounds. McLaren still seems to have the quickest car most weekends, but now they must be perfect. No errors in setup, no risky ride heights, no strategy mistakes. The pressure is heavier than ever. Red Bull and Verstappen, meanwhile, have been handed a lifeline they did not expect. They have chased all season long. Now the title can swing their way if they keep up the heat. And do not forget Piastri, he has a real shot as well. And with the points reset, he can race with fewer nerves than either of the other two. There is also a big mental side to this. Norris has been calm most of the year, never looking rattled even when Verstappen stole wins. But now his comfortable lead is cut almost in half. He knows one bad weekend could put him second or even third. Verstappen is the opposite type in moments like this, relentless, aggressive, and usually at his best when the pressure spikes. Piastri has less to lose and more to gain. That can be dangerous for his rivals because he can gamble when the others might play safe. Watching how the three-handle starts, tyre calls and wheel-to-wheel fights in Qatar and Abu Dhabi will be fascinating. The Constructors' Championship adds another layer. Losing 30 points in one night hurts McLaren badly. That allows Mercedes and Ferrari to close in. The fight for second in the team standings could go to the final laps in Abu Dhabi. With prize money and pride on the line, every single point now matters. Teams will push their drivers hard and engineers will sweat over every setup decision, especially ride height and floor stiffness after this disaster. Qatar could be the key. With the sprint format, the weekend offers 33 points to a driver who dominates. Sprint win, Grand Prix win and fastest lap. If Verstappen hits that maximum and Norris struggles, Max could leave Qatar in front. The same math applies to Piastri. He can leap both if things fall his way. Norris cannot afford a bad Saturday or a bad Sunday. He needs clean sessions, strong qualifying and steady race pace. For fans, this is peak Formula One. High stakes, high drama and tiny details making huge waves. A board of wood under the car, designed to keep things fair and safe, has flipped the season upside down. The rule might feel harsh, but everyone knows it and everyone plays under the same lines. In the end, the sport always comes back to execution under pressure. Who sets the car right? Who makes the best calls? Who keeps their head when it counts? McLaren will spend the days before Qatar checking every flaw, every shim and every run plan. Expect a safer setup and maybe a car that rides a fraction higher to avoid any repeat. Red Bull will smell blood and push Verstappen to attack. Piastri will see his chance to write his name into the story of the season. The last two rounds now have a new edge. The paddock will buzz. The media will circle. The cameras will look for every crack in the McLaren armour. The 2025 campaign was already full of plot twists, but this Las Vegas post-race drama may define it. If Verstappen claws back the points and takes a fifth title, this night will be the turning point people remember. If Norris steadies the ship and finishes the job, this will be the scare that sharpened him. And if Piastri pulls off the shock and beats them both, this disqualification will be the door that opened at exactly the right time. So what do you think? Did the officials make the right call by sticking to the rule book, or should there have been some leniency given the strange weekend and the tiny margin? And now that the fight is three-way and the gap is small, who do you back to lift the trophy in Abu Dhabi? Norris, Verstappen or Piastri? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.